bring a chair in a bit because the mic's going to be a little weird.
That's it, putting a floor on.
So that's on a 120?
Mm-hmm. It's very grassy.
Yeah? Very. I don't think I've tasted that.
Haven't you?
No.
When do we have it?
I have no idea.
It's been open for a while. Fizz when I open it.
Oh.
It's alright though, it tastes okay.
Cool. Nice and close to the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Craig.
And I'm Linda.
And this is the Indie Travel Podcast, Guide to Prague, the Czech Republic, from indietravelpodcast.com.
Today's show is sponsored by Hostel Bookers, a budget accommodation website that's run by travellers for travellers.
As the only independent hostel booking site that doesn't charge a booking fee, they offer the cheap prices and value for money that backpackers and budget travellers deserve.
With hostels, guest houses, cheap hotels and apartments in over 2,500 destinations worldwide, you can check out each property before you book online, with thousands of customer ratings and reviews, and pictures and videos of and pictures and videos of hostel rooms and amenities.
They've got tons of travel resources too, with online travel guides and articles, and the Hostel Bookers blog, which is packed with fun travel features and budget travel guides.
Yep, as you know, we like Hostel Bookers, so we recommend them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's get on to the fact box. The name?
Indeed, it is Prague, but locally it's written and called Praha.
So you should be aware of the fact that it's got two names.
Yep.
It's in the northwest of the centre of the Czech Republic. Prague's the capital of the city of the country, so you should be able to find it.
Yes. With 1.25 million people and the Czech language, it's known for cheap beer, the real Budweiser, Christmas markets, a beautiful old town, and good King Wenceslas.
Which we won't sing, please.
Please?
The temperatures hover around 0 in winter, shudder, but it breaks into the early 20s during summer. And although summer is warm, it can be wet, so make sure you take a rain jacket with you.
Yeah, occasional heat waves in summer push things into the mid-30s, while at its coldest, it's negative 30, the coldest recorded temperature.
I just don't want to
almost
think about
negative
that.
30.
Let's just not talk about it.
Fine, let's talk about the airport. It's the Ruzne International Airport, which is served by both budget and legacy airlines. It takes about half an hour from there to get into town by public transport.
Yeah, and it's not too difficult to do that by public transport either. The price of a pint is about €1.50. Price of a dorm bed from €5, but you should expect to pay around 10. And the price of a public transport ticket, 18 to 26 kronas.
Yep. And krona's the local currency.
Yeah, which is kronas in Czech, or crowns if you want to say it in English.
Yeah, but nobody does that. The layout of Prague is both simple and enormously confusing. As a tourist, you're probably going to be staying in the centre of, where the medieval city was. That's where most of the beautiful sights are. That's the tourist
It's easy to walk
centre.
around. It's not difficult to negotiate on foot.
Yeah.
However, if you're trying to look at a map and work out where you are, it's really
That's
quite
when
confusing.
it gets tricky, yeah.
The problem is there's 3 or 4 different systems in place to describe how things are laid out. You know, like in Paris you've got the arrondissements, that kind of thing. But they keep changing them. And the problem is that at least 2 of them use numbers. So the
That's
numbers, you know, you've got Prague 1, and then you've got another Prague 1 that's something completely different.
Yeah. So that's brilliant. In this guide we'll be naming the districts. So we'll be talking about the old town, Stare Mesto, the lesser town, Mala Strana, the new town, Nové Mesto, the Jewish quarter, Josefov, the castle, Hradčany, and Vyšehrad, which is an older castle, which is south of kind of the old town centre.
Alright, well let's get on to accommodation. Well, Prague is a bit of a backpacker haven because it's really quite cheap in terms of accommodation, playing and eating.
Yes,
It's great. I mean,
absolutely.
eating, playing and staying, no problems.
Yeah.
What's
The two big names that come up again and again when you're talking about budget accommodation in Prague are Sir Toby's and Miss Sophie's. These hostels are pretty much Europe renowned. I mean, they're kind of almost mythic. But we didn't stay there.
No, we didn't. We stayed somewhere quite boring and we got a private room with the five of us who were staying there, and it was okay, and it was close to town, so it was perfect for us.
Yeah.
But it was just a little bit boring.
Yeah. Hostels are spread right throughout the main areas, those 6 that we just mentioned. So, to be honest, it doesn't really matter where you stay because most things are a half-hour walk away. And if it's further away, the public transport is both cheap and pretty efficient.
But that said, it's always worth checking out where your hostel is before you book it.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Camping's also a popular summer option. There are campsites along the Vltava River, close to the zoo. They tend to be small and crowded during the high season, so book ahead or have a backup plan.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're talking about accommodation, I know I say absolutely all the time. Yeah, backup plan always helps. While we're talking about accommodation, it's probably a good time to mention our sponsor again.
It does seem it.
Yes, that's hostelbookers.com, and they say
that Prague lives up to its reputation as a bargain city break, with plenty of cheap and cheap budget accommodation. The city's popularity with backpackers means that if you're looking for a hostel, Prague definitely won't disappoint you. Party animals looking for a lively atmosphere or social events like pub crawls should book a Prague youth hostel in the city centre, close to all the bars and clubs.
For something a little bit more peaceful, there are also more offbeat hostels away from the hectic nightlife. From boutique hostels with artsy decor to more rural locations out in the countryside. Luckily, these are all close to the tram lines, which makes sightseeing easy. It is good to note that hostels in Prague fill up quickly in the high season, which is over summer and over Christmas, New Year's. So book online at hostelbookers.com in advance to make sure you get the best value rooms. Prices start at €5 a person per night for a shared room with hostelbookers.com.
Definitely good advice. I mean, that's something we'd always say. Book as far in advance as you can, but you don't necessarily need to book for the whole duration of your stay. It depends on what you want to do. Alright, well, let's move on to